Bonjour, Madame Carpinella.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Heller.
Ça va?
Oui, ça va. Et toi?
Oui, ça va bien.
Bon,
Euh, Aujourd'hui, nous allons parler du futur. Nous parlerons du futur en français.
d'accord, d'accord.
Oui. So if you caught that, I kind of said the same thing twice, but in two different ways. Nous allons parler du futur et nous parlerons du futur. So we're going to, in addition to knowing how to use aller plus an infinitive to talk about things that are going to happen, we're going to take a look at another way to talk about things that will happen in the future.
Okay.
Okay. Le futur. Je travaillerai 4 heures après l'école aujourd'hui. Je choisirai d'assister à une université dans le Massachusetts. Je serai fatigué après le match de foot et je ferai des projets cette année à l'école. Madame, can you take a look at these sentences and tell us what you think they mean and, talk about the verbs that are underlined a bit?
Sure. So I know that travailler means to work, and I see travailler here. So I work 4 hours after school today. And I know that we're talking about things that will happen. So I will work 4 hours after school today.
Mm-hmm.
Which means this will probably be I will choose to assist.
Look at the rest of the sentence and it might help clarify.
To assist at a university in Massachusetts.
Yeah, so this is a false friend because we don't say that we assist a university, but we attend or go to a university.
We'll choose to attend a university in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what serai means.
Yeah.
Assuming it's I will something. So I'm going to say I will blank tired after the soccer game.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be B.
Yeah, I mean, right? Since fatigue is a feeling,
Right.
you have to say that I am or I will be this feeling. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I will blank projects this year at school. I will do projects this year at school. So I guess that's probably fair.
Exactly. And yeah, you're right. So using the context of each of these sentences, you were able to figure out that all of these are the verb in the future. So will and whatever verb it is. And if you looked at the title of the slide, talking about things that will happen, that made sense to you. And just knowing that all of these sentences can't be talking about today, right now, led you to think, okay, this is something that will occur later or is not happening now. Très bien. Okay, le futur, cause and effect. So let's see how this plays out. I'm going to read these sentences out loud for us again. Si je suis en retard, je m'excuserai. Si j'ai une question, je la poserai. Je comprendrai les devoirs si je fais des notes. Et si je vais à la piscine, j'aurai besoin d'une serviette.
Okay.
So, yeah, can I have you do the same thing you did from last slide and go through each of the sentences?
Yeah, I have a little problem that I don't think we've ever seen C before. So I'm gonna kind of skip over that as I look at these for now. I am late. I will excuse myself or apologize. I have a question. I will pose it. I will comprehend the homework. I do the notes. I go to the pool. I will need a towel. So looking at all of these, I think that C probably means if. If I am late, I will excuse myself. If I have a question, I will pose it. I will understand or comprehend the homework if I do the notes. If I go to the pool, I will need a towel.
Awesome. Aussi, si tu vas à la plage, tu auras besoin d'une serviette, Madame Carpanella.
Mais je suis à la plage, Mademoiselle Heller.
Oui.
Et toi, tu es en espace.
Ah oui, oui. Et je peux voir la France là-bas.
C'est où là?
So we, yeah. C means if, and so for these sentences, we're talking about cause and effect, and the effect is the thing that we're putting in the future. And so what we're basically saying is that if one of these situations is true, the likely effect will happen. And obviously, since we're talking, this isn't like a science experiment, there's many possible effects that will happen, but we're just saying that based on this one cause, we can predict the things that will occur later. So if I'm late, what's one of the many things that will happen? I will excuse myself, I'll apologize, I will maybe call you, I will be stressed out about it. You could say a number of things, but we're saying that the effect of being late is what we're putting in the future. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Question, problème?
No, continuez.
Okay, super. Okay. Now here are some other sentences. Look a little bit different. Let's take a look and see what makes them special. Quand j'aurai 18 ans, j'irai à l'université. Dès que j'entendrai de la musique, je danserai. Une fois que je serai en France, je parlerai français.
So when I am 18, I will blank university.
Mm-hmm.
Blank.
Now it's interesting. You said when I am 18.
Oh, when I will be 18,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I will go to the university, but that doesn't sound right.
In English, it doesn't sound right.
I don't know what Dacre means, but I'm gonna look at the rest of the sentence here.
Mm-hmm.
I will hear music, I will dance. Maybe that also means when?
It's kind of similar. Deka would be better translated as like as soon as.
Okay, so as soon as I will hear music, I will dance.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly awkward.
Yeah.
Once
You're dancing or the sentence?
I have rights. I have Fifth Amendment rights, Mademoiselle Heller. Once I will be in France, I will speak French. Also slightly awkward and not my French. So, I think I understand these sentences, but I don't like the way they translate.
Yeah, I understand that sentiment, and I definitely agree that for English speakers, it can be hard to look at these sentences and think that they're correct because when we translate these sentences, like you were saying, we want to use the present tense and then the future. But in the mind of a French speaker, all of these things are all future events or all things that will happen. So
I'm not 18 yet.
Exactly.
I haven't yet heard music.
Exactly.
And I'm sadly at the beach, not in France.
Exactly. So because you can't say that those things are true today, are the reality today, you're using the future because they'll be the reality at some point, or they're likely to be the reality, even if you can't guarantee things in life. So really, with these words, and there do exist a few more in French, but for today, for now, if you see quand, dès que, and une fois que, these phrases, you should know that there are going to be at least two verbs in the sentence, and both of them will need to be conjugated in the future.
It kind of makes more sense the French way.
Yeah, I like that it reminds us that all of these things are going to happen at a later time, and they're not happening now. Mm-hmm. On continue?
Oui.
Okay, super. Okay, so Les verbes réguliers et irréguliers, ER verbs, IR verbs, and RE verbs. Je chanterai, je partirai, je vendrai. What did I do in order to conjugate these verbs, Madame Carpinella?
It looks like you added avoir onto the infinitive.
So you're definitely right that for the future tense, you don't remove from the infinitive, like in the same way that we're used to seeing before. So like chanter, we just tacked on the ending. Partir, same thing, we just tacked on the ending. And then vendre, we also just tacked on the ending, but we removed the E. And
right.
yeah, just like for spelling and not to confuse the pronunciation or anything. So the future for regular verbs is super easy because all you have to do is add things to the end and you don't have to worry about removing any letters for the most part when you're conjugating. And can you remind us, we saw these irregulars in the different examples. Can you remind me what they all mean?
Yep, I will go, I will be, I will have, I will do, or I will make.
Perfect, oui. And, j'irai, if any of you guys have a knowledge of Spanish, the verb ir, to go. So that's one little trick for any Spanish speakers out there to help you.
Seré.
Oh, also seré, yeah, ser. But for anyone who doesn't have a knowledge of Spanish, it'll just take some practice and remembering. And so I'm gonna move us here because I don't know if we're blocking. But you see that there's a chart on the right, and on the left are the different endings for the verbs for the future, but they're all like jumbled up. So, Madame Carpinella, do you think that you could guess where each of them would go?
Well, I know AI goes with je.
Perfect. So you would put it right here where the arrow's at.
Yep. And ONS logically would go with new because that's always the new ending.
Très bien.
EZ would logically go with vous because that's always the vous ending.
Right, tu as raison.
Then I think the others are the same as the verb avoir, like AI. So I would match them up with that subject pronoun. So AS would go with to, A would go with il singular, and ONT would go with il plural.
Excellent. Exactement. Tu as raison. And this is the same for every single verb in the future, which makes the future a pretty concise tense because these 6 endings you can put onto any infinitive and you've got the verb in the future tense.
Okay.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah, merci. Merci, madame.